Good morning, everyone. I am pleased to welcome you all today. Today, we will be discussing management and control of labels used in pharmaceutical and API production. I'm Dr. S.K. Singh, and I look forward to sharing insights on this important topic. Over the course of this presentation, we will cover key aspects of label management, regulatory considerations, and best practices to ensure quality and compliance. Let's get started. Let's talk about why label control is so critical in our processes. Labels are more than just tags. They ensure the identity, traceability, status, and compliance of our products. This means that each label helps us track where a product is in its life cycle, confirm it's the right item, and verify that it meets all regulatory standards. Proper labeling also prevents mix-ups, which can lead to product loss, rework, or even costly recalls. By ensuring accurate labels, we protect both our products and our reputation. Most importantly, good label control plays a key role in safeguarding patient safety and maintaining high product quality, both non-negotiable in our industry. Now, on the regulatory side, there are several important frameworks we follow. For example, the FDA's 21 CFR Parts 210 and 211 set strict guidelines for pharmaceutical manufacturing. In Europe, EU GMP Annex 1 and 6 outline similar standards. We also adhere to ICH Q7, Q10, and QMS principles, along with WHO GMP guidelines. Additionally, standards like ISO 9001 and ISO 15378, especially relevant for packaging materials, provide a solid foundation for our labeling practices. Moving on to scope and applicability, label control isn't limited to just finished products. It applies across the entire supply chain, starting from raw materials, through in-process labeling, and all the way to finished products and APIs. It also covers packaging components, samples, and test labels. Furthermore, labels are essential for storage and staging, retest and expiry dates, and even waste and disposal labels. Essentially, any point where labeling is involved, proper control helps ensure accuracy, compliance, and safety. So, understanding and implementing effective label control is fundamental to our overall quality management and regulatory adherence. It's a critical piece of our commitment to delivering safe, high-quality products. Now, let's take a closer look at the core labeling requirements that are essential for maintaining quality and safety in our processes. First, it's crucial that labels are accurate, legible, and unambiguous. This means every label must clearly convey the correct information without any confusion. We need to ensure that anyone reading the label can easily understand what it indicates. Next, labels must identify key details such as the product itself, the batch number, the current status, and any critical instructions. These details are vital for traceability and proper handling throughout the production and distribution chain. It's also important that labels are controlled, authorized, and properly versioned. This helps us keep track of updates and prevents the use of outdated or incorrect labels. No overwriting, erasures, or unauthorized changes should ever be made. This maintains the integrity of our labeling system. Training and documentation are mandatory to ensure everyone understands how to apply and verify labels correctly. Proper training reduces errors and enhances compliance. Finally, labels must be secured to prevent mix-ups and contamination. This involves using materials and methods that protect labels from damage and tampering, which is especially important in environments where sterility and safety are top priorities. All these points tie together to form a robust labeling system that supports our overall goal, delivering safe, high-quality products to our customers. Let's take a closer look at the principles of label control. First, uniqueness is essential. Each label must uniquely identify its content. This helps us avoid confusion and ensures traceability. Speaking of traceability, it's also critical that labels link directly to batch records and production logs, so we can track everything accurately throughout the process. Security is another key principle. We need to prevent unauthorized access or printing of labels to protect sensitive information. Then, there's *** revision control. Every label should have a clearly visible version number and date. This way, we always know we're using the most current information and can trace back any changes if needed. Finally, proper documentation is vital. We should keep records of when labels are printed, who printed them, and how they are used. All these principles together help us maintain consistency, accuracy, and security in our labeling system, which ultimately supports the integrity of our entire production process. Let's take a closer look at the 5 phases involved in our label management process. In Phase 1, creation, templates are carefully defined by the quality and engineering teams to ensure consistency and compliance. These templates include standard fields that align with regulatory norms, which is crucial for maintaining quality standards. Access is restricted to authorized users only to safeguard the integrity of the process. Moving on to Phase 2, review and authorization. Here, the label owner verifies that all information is accurate before moving forward. Any modifications to templates are controlled through a formal change control process, ensuring that updates are tracked and approved properly. In Phase 3, printing, we use controlled printers that are secured and logged. Only authorized personnel are permitted to operate these printers, which helps prevent unauthorized printing and maintains traceability. The next step is Phase 4 of fixing, where labels are applied immediately after the production step. To ensure correctness, this process is verified by a second person, adding an extra layer of quality control. Phase 5, monitoring and update, involves actively tracking the status of labels, such as marking them as hold or released. If a reprint is necessary, it's done with a new version to keep everything current and compliant. Finally, Phase 6, archival, involves retaining records of all labels according to our record retention policies, which typically range from 3 to 10 years. This ensures that we have a reliable audit trail for regulatory and quality purposes. Overall, these phases create a robust framework that maintains label integrity, compliance, and traceability throughout the entire lifecycle. Now, let's take a closer look at label content standards and what labels must contain. When creating labels, there are specific key points you need to include to ensure they meet the requirements. For this slide, we're focusing on example requirements that illustrate these standards. It's important to thoroughly but conversationally explain these points, making sure your audience understands why each element is essential. Highlight the most important concepts, such as clarity, accuracy, and compliance. Also, remember to connect these points to the overall theme of your presentation, emphasizing how proper labeling supports safety, transparency, and regulatory adherence. By keeping these standards in mind, you'll be better equipped to produce effective, compliant labels that communicate the right information clearly. Let's take a closer look at label templates and version control. First, managing templates is crucial, and we do this through controlled software such as LIMS, WMS, or MES systems. This ensures that templates are stored securely and managed consistently. You'll notice that the revision number is visible on the label itself, which helps us track changes and ensure everyone is using the most current version. It's also important to highlight that only authorized personnel, like quality or engineering teams, can modify these templates. This restriction maintains the integrity and accuracy of our labeling process. Any changes they make are subject to an official change control process, ensuring a formal review and approval before implementation. Now, regarding the template fields, they're designed to include key product information at a glance. For example, you might see fields like product name, batch number, weight or quantity, manufacturing date, and expiry or retest date. Additional fields include status, location, version number, and who printed the label. All of these elements work together to ensure our labels are accurate, consistent, and compliant, which ties back to our overall goal of quality assurance and traceability throughout the process. Let's take a closer look at our printer controls and verification steps before printing. First, we have designated label printers that are located within controlled areas. This helps us ensure that only authorized personnel have access and that the environment remains secure. Additionally, printer access is logged by user ID, which means we keep a record of who used the printer and when, adding an extra layer of accountability. All printers are also carefully calibrated and qualified regularly. This ensures that the labels are printed accurately and consistently, which is crucial for maintaining product quality and traceability. To enhance security further, all secure USB and network ports are blocked, preventing unauthorized access or data transfer. Moving on to the verification steps before printing, it's vital to confirm the batch number. This ensures that the labels correspond to the correct production batch. Then, we verify the product name, making sure it matches what we intend to label. Next, we check the quantity or measurement on the label to avoid any discrepancies. Finally, it's important to review the label preview. This step allows us to catch any errors or misprints before the labels are printed, ensuring accuracy and consistency in our labeling process. These controls and verification steps are all about maintaining integrity, security, and quality in our labeling process, which ties back to our overall goal of delivering safe and reliable products. Let's talk about correct label application. First, it's important to always apply the label before moving the product. This helps ensure the product is properly identified at every stage. Next, double-check that the label is fully adhered, legible, and not folded or damaged. These details are crucial for clear communication. We also use color codes to quickly indicate the status of each product. For example, red means quarantined, indicating it needs further inspection or approval. Green shows that the product has been approved or released for use. Yellow indicates that the product is in process, still under handling or testing. And blue is used for samples or test items. A good practice to avoid misidentification is to put labels on multiple parts of the product. For instance, placing a label on the drum lid and another on the barrel body helps ensure that the product is easily identifiable from different angles or at different stages. Overall, proper labeling is a key part of our quality control process. It helps us maintain traceability, avoid mix-ups, and ensure safety across all operations. Let's talk about handling errors and corrections. When it comes to permitted corrections, the key is that any minor spelling errors should only be corrected if they meet specific criteria. For example, you can make a correction if there's a single strike-through, and the correction is initialed and dated with a quality witness signature. This ensures accountability and maintains the integrity of the documentation. On the other hand, there are clear things that are not permitted. You should never use whiteout or an eraser to correct errors. Covering up old text with sticky labels is also not allowed, nor is relabeling documents without proper authorization. These practices can compromise the accuracy and trustworthiness of our records. Let's look at the example provided. A product code that originally was XYZ123. Someone made a correction by striking through XYZ12, then wrote JS, and added the date, 20 Feb 2026, along with a quality witness signature. This shows a proper correction, clear, authorized, and traceable. Remember, the goal here is to ensure all corrections are transparent and properly documented, supporting the overall integrity of our processes. Let's talk about temporary and transitional labels. These are used in specific situations, like when a product is on production hold, meaning it shouldn't be shipped or used until further notice. They're also used when labels are under revision, so we avoid any confusion with outdated information. Additionally, they come into play when a material is under testing, ensuring everyone knows it's not finalized yet. The controls for these labels are quite straightforward, but important. First, they need to be clearly marked with messages like temporary or do not use, so there's no ambiguity. Second, these labels should be time-bound and reviewed regularly, meaning we set a deadline to replace them with the approved, permanent labels. And finally, as soon as the situation is resolved, these temporary labels must be replaced immediately with the approved labels to keep everything compliant and clear. This approach helps us maintain control and clarity during transitional phases, supporting our overall goal of quality and safety. Now, let's look at this example of how product barcodes and batch QR codes are scanned at each step of the process. First, during weighing, the barcode or QR code is scanned to ensure the correct product and batch are being measured. Next, during filling, scanning helps verify that the right product is being filled into containers. Then, in storage, barcode scans keep track of where each batch is stored, maintaining accurate inventory records. Finally, at shipment, scanning confirms that the right products are being shipped out to the right locations. This consistent use of digital systems and barcoding creates a seamless flow of information. Now, what are the benefits of integrating barcodes and QR codes? Well, first, it significantly reduces transcription errors because data is captured automatically rather than manually entered. Second, it improves tracking and scanning capabilities, making it easier to locate and verify products at any stage. Third, these systems can link directly with enterprise resource planning, laboratory information management systems, or warehouse management systems, ensuring data is synchronized across platforms. And lastly, it provides real-time status updates. You always have the latest information on your products, location, and condition. All these benefits help optimize the entire process, making it more accurate, efficient, and transparent. Let's talk about training and competency, which are critical to maintaining high standards in our labeling processes. First, it's important to note that all personnel involved in printing or affixing labels must undergo proper training. This isn't a one-time event. We require annual refresher training to keep everyone up to date with best practices and any new procedures. Additionally, we need to document all evaluations and competency tests to ensure accountability and consistent performance. Now, moving on to the training topics. These are the core areas everyone must be familiar with. We cover the SOP for label creation and printing, which provides clear guidelines to prevent errors. Error correction procedures are also essential, so staff know exactly how to address mistakes promptly and correctly. The barcoding scanning process is another key topic. It's vital for accuracy and efficiency in our operations. Security and access controls are also emphasized, ensuring that only authorized personnel handle sensitive labeling tasks. And finally, understanding regulatory expectations is crucial. This keeps our labeling compliant with industry standards and legal requirements. All of these training components work together to ensure our team is competent, confident, and aligned with our overall goal of quality and compliance. Let's talk about what we should be looking for during inspections to ensure everything is in order. First, traceability from the label to the batch history is crucial. This means we can follow a product right back to its origins, ensuring transparency and accountability. Next, we need to confirm there are no unauthorized changes. Any modifications should be properly documented and approved. It's also important that the status of labels and batches follows a logical progression. This helps us quickly identify any inconsistencies. Lastly, archived label records should always be accessible, so we have a complete record for audits or investigations. Moving on to internal audit and inspection readiness, there are several focus areas to keep in mind. For example, ensuring that label template versions are current prevents outdated information from being used. Printer access logs are important too, as they show who printed labels and when, adding an extra layer of oversight. Correction logs need to be up to date, documenting any changes made to labels or records. We also want to verify proper affixing practices are followed. Labels should be applied correctly without damage or misplacement. And finally, maintaining comprehensive training records is essential, so we know our team is well equipped and compliant. All of these points tie back to our overall goal, maintaining a robust, transparent, and compliant labeling and inspection process. This way, we can ensure product integrity, meet regulatory standards, and build trust with our stakeholders. For further support, please don't hesitate to contact us. We're here to help you with any questions or additional information you might need. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. I truly appreciate your engagement and interest. Remember, we're committed to supporting you beyond this presentation, so reach out whenever you need assistance. Thanks again, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.